Cook, are you there?
Yeah.
Perfect. So I'm going to be playing the part of Dirk Smits tonight.
Oh, okay.
I'm
We
a host.
have no
I
lawyer
hosted
tonight?
Tuesday night, but I stayed off camera, so I didn't have any major disasters. So everything worked.
Oh, okay. So is Steve or Dirk or who's the lawyer tonight?
I think. I've got.
Nobody. Okay.
Hang on a second. I got to turn YouTube off.
Oh, yeah, it's 45 seconds behind.
Okay, now I'm back and I've got YouTube turned off, so I don't have to listen to myself 15 minutes later.
Yeah.
Galen will be on tonight because he's been working on
Okay.
the budget. So we got Galen.
Okay, cool.
He'll
Just
be
making sure
in
we
his
had
office.
Yeah, that's fine. Good job hosting last week then, or Tuesday rather.
Well, I kind of compare it to playing, what was that, whack-a-mole game where you're just
Oh, as far as turning people off?
Yeah, trying to cut them off before they said something or messed anything up. So if you're just constantly watching to be able to mute people, it actually runs fairly smoothly.
Yeah, true. But I mean, it really takes somebody to actually actively monitor.
Well, I think that's what we talked about, is actually having somebody run the soundboard, basically.
Yeah.
So
what I do wish is that the iPads worked like the computers, where I could hold my space bar as a push to talk button. But
yeah, I don't know why that doesn't work the same. There's got to be some function you can make work that way.
You would think, but
yeah, Chief hadn't figured his out either. He watches on his iPad.
What's that?
How to get the space bar to work with it to talk and stuff.
Do it.
Steve can't do it either. So
what's up, JJ?
What happened?
Ooh, echo.
yeah, we got both. You got to turn your speaker off.
Speakers off.
All right, now we're better.
Watching those other two blobs.
You better put it on a lazy Susan and maybe you get a Leslie.
Okay, good, perfect. Well, I figured that when it was echoing back because I had both screens open. I didn't realize I couldn't have both screens open.
The old link works. So if anyone asks, the old link, like when we use for everything else.
The YouTube link? Okay, all right.
Because I just literally went into the agenda.
And then do you remember the *6 and *9?
*6 to mute and *9 to unmute.
I think it's *6 to mute or unmute and *9 to raise your hand.
Oh,
raise your hand, right? Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure.
Good job.
Hi.
Do I actually need a copy of this budget?
Well, got money. That's what it just is a good question.
Spend so much.
Galen, I'm glad I figured out how to change my name so there wasn't two of us on there. Oh, you actually changed your name too, so we're good now.
Yeah, I don't pay for a work account. I leave that up to the big man. You're muted, Doug.
Took my hand off the key. So I guess we have to keep running with this until we can get new advertising out. So we have to keep with this, or how long have we ever, I gotta get with Diane and find out how long we've been advertising this link.
You need to be, right now, just keep in mind, Doug, moving forward, now that we've gotten to the budget hearings, you guys need to create new meetings, which will give you a new link for every single one. The YouTube link never changes. I set that up so it's just the URL to the city's YouTube channel. But moving forward, you'll need to create a new meeting for all of your regularly scheduled meetings, any special calls like this. And that's what you'll use. But keep in mind, unless the governor decides to extend the order, virtual meetings are off by October 1st. Mr. Cook?
Sir, how are you?
Good. Lovely day down at the school board today. I'm still here.
Wonderful.
Told them I was off the clock for them and switching gears to you.
Ah,
For everybody on now, we are recording now.
And Steve, I believe it looks like I've trained up Mr. Lewis pretty successfully on Zoom. I think he figured out most of it himself, and I think he'll make a fine substitute moving forward.
very well. Thank you for all the help. As I think we're 4 days out of joint, right? So the next meeting will actually be after the termination of contract?
I believe the next meeting is after the termination of contract. The last thing I'm planning on doing at the moment is I'm on deck for code enforcement next week with Doug.
Okay, very well. Thank you. Vice Mayor? Mr. Bartis, Mr. Lindsay,
Howdy. How are you guys?
bueno.
Buenos.
And just so you guys know, I did speak with Jennifer earlier today. Unfortunately, she will be participating by phone today, but she will be here.
Okay,
And there she is logging in.
There she is.
Yes, I'm here.
wow, clear connection. So we still, I think, just need Doc and Mark.
And we need Diane.
Oh, is she not on yet? Awesome.
It technically starts at 5:05,
And we
so they got a little bit of time.
got a few minutes.
Oh, yeah, I'm not worried.
Jennifer, also thank you for the help on that other issue. You were dead on. I did end up speaking with one of your contacts.
Good deal.
Galen, quick question. It's star 6 to unmute and star 9 to raise your hand.
Correct. If you ask them to raise their hand, it'll show up as a little hand icon next to their name under the participants tab.
Perfect, thank you.
You have so many musical things. Hands across the water.
Water.
So, did y'all hear about the dyslexic devil worshiper? He sold his soul to Santa.
Oh dear.
Bo told me a good one last night. Do you guys know where cows go for entertainment? The movies.
There's a lot of bull there.
He's 7, Galen. Cut him some slack.
I'll remind everybody, we are recording.
It's okay. I'm here all week.
We've had some pretty PG jokes so far. I'm okay with it.
Why does Snoop Dogg carry an umbrella?
Why?
Faux drizzle.
Wait, does it start for
Okay, my nephew told me one. Why'd the chicken cross the road?
Oh, why?
Because the light turned green. Three years old.
Awesome. I just heard from Mr. San Martin. He will not be joining us.
Mr. Mayor, then we will need a unanimous vote from all attending members because Mr. San Martin will be automatically counted as a no vote.
Very well.
I seem to remember this happening a few years back when I was not in attendance.
There was one of those.
Did one last year where we had 2 of the council show up.
Yeah, one year we had to do the whole thing over again, I remember.
That was the year I was in Las Vegas for the last budget meeting, and we had the one no vote.
Do believe Councilman Zieg has just joined us.
All right. I'm showing T minus 2 minutes.
That was the year somebody brought a very large pencil.
How about that?
And it was sharp.
Mon crayon es grande.
Is that like a Spaceballs Schwartz line?
You're going to start that right before a meeting?
Hey, Chief, thanks
Hey,
for the
Mr.
heads up on tomorrow's events.
Indeed.
Hey, Galen.
No problem. We did get the ladder for everybody. So that will be going over the large flag.
Somebody's feeding back horribly. How much of this thing do we need to read? Probably
Just the title, Mr. Mayor. And the
no, probably the YouTube link, things like that.
Oh, you're talking about the virtual meeting script. We do not need to read that into the record anymore, Mr. Mayor. That was why I had you guys adopt the procedures at a previous meeting. But we can.
I understand. I know because of quasi, I was trying to overdo it and make sure that there was nobody that could say that they were being locked out.
Then in that case, what I'll go ahead and do is read the public comment instructions into the record when you prompt me.
Cool. Thank you.
I also apologize for my absence on Tuesday. I was trying to get the people in the lobby situated.
Oh, no worries. No worries. Okay, if everybody's ready. All right, let's call the City of Marathon City Council special call meeting for the budget Tuesday, September 10th, 2020 at 5:05 PM to order. May we all stand and recite the pledge after Vice Mayor Gonzalez.
I just unmuted. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance
to the
to
flag
the flag
of the United States of
United States
America,
of America,
to the republic for which it stands,
stands
one
one
nation,
nation,
under God, indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty
liberty,
and justice for all.
Thank you, Vice
Please be
Mayor.
seated.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
Diane, can you call the roll?
Councilmember Bartis,
Here.
Councilmember Zig,
Here.
Vice Mayor Gonzalez,
Here.
Mayor Cook,
Present.
and Tim Martin is marked as absent.
Correct. Mr. Jones, would you please recite the call-in instructions for the
Mr. Mayor,
citizens?
members of the public who wish to view the city council meeting may do so by watching local via the web at www.youtube.com/channel. The entire URL is included on the meeting agenda. Members of the public who wish to comment on matters before the city council may do so by either calling 305-289-4130 or emailing cityofmarathon@ci.marathon.fl.us with your name, address, and phone number where you can be reached during the meeting on September 10th, 2020 at 5:05 PM. Alternatively, you may call 301-715-8592 and upon receiving the voice prompt, dial meeting ID 781-088-0141, password 33035. Please mute yourself upon entry if you use this option.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jones. Council, it's time for an approval of the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
All right, seems like Bartis Gonzalez, I think. I'm sorry, Zig Gonzalez. Call.
That's correct.
All in favor?
Councilmember Zig,
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
that's okay. You're good.
Aye.
Please proceed.
Would you
Diane.
like me to read the resolution?
Yeah, go ahead.
Resolution 2020-67, adopting the tentative millage rate and levy of ad valorem taxes for the city of Marathon, Florida for fiscal year 2021 and providing for an effective date.
Council.
Move to approve 2020-67.
Second.
If I may, the primary reason for tonight's meeting is to allow the public to make comment and ask questions about the increase in ad valorem taxes. So before we make any adoptions, can we please ask if there's anyone from the public that would wish to make a comment?
Very well, Ms. Johnson. Do we have anyone from the public on any form, either live, over phone, chat, or on Zoom that would wish to comment on resolution 2020-67? Ad valorem, millage rate?
There appears to be nobody in the queue on the Zoom.
All right. Can you check the chat? Oh, that is the chat. That is the queue on the Zoom. Nobody on the phone?
Nobody on the phone, Mr. Mayor.
All right. We have a motion and a second.
And if I may, I'd like to read section 2 into the record that
Oh,
the
please.
fiscal year 2021 tentative millage rate for the city is 2.59 mils, which is $2.59 per $1,000 of taxable assessed property value. And the tentative millage rate is greater than the rollback rate of 2.4631 mils by 5.15%. And now you can move for approval.
Thank you.
Would you like me to call the roll?
Well, does the motion still stand?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and call the roll.
Councilmember Zig,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilmember Bartis,
Yes.
Mayor Cook,
Yes.
motion carries. Resolution 2020-68, adopting the tentative budget for fiscal year 2020-2021 and providing for an effective date.
Ms. Johnson, is there anything you'd like to read on that?
No, nothing particular to read. And if there's no public that's joined, so I guess there is no public comment on this item.
Mr. Mayor, just for the record, I would still ask that you call for public comment.
I was just getting ready to do so.
Thank you.
I would ask at this time for the public to either join the Zoom chat and enter your comments, either by using the phone or in person at City Hall. If you have a comment on Resolution 2020-68, adopting the tentative budget, please do so now. Hearing none, do we have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve 2020-6A.
Thank you, Doc Zig. Do we have a second?
Second.
I
And
think Bartis has a second.
yeah, do we get some discussion on this as well?
Certainly.
Awesome. All right. My discussion there is going over, it's on page Q3, Parks and Rec. And some concerns that I have on this, seeing that today is the 3rd anniversary of Hurricane Irma, and we still have some issues with some of our parks. Typically, namely Rotary Park, the kayak docks at Oceanfront Park, and amphitheater rehabilitation. And I want to make sure that we are throwing enough money at this, or if we're not, maybe trying to find some creative sources from some other funds to do this. I mean, the amphitheater is 3 years ago, before the storm, it was getting bad. And I know we had a quote, I believe, for about 17,000 to fix it then. We've got 20,000 budgeted, and 15,000 is from a TDC grant. But I'm just worried that that might not be enough for this upcoming fiscal year. I mean, it's and the same thing with the other parks too. We got the beach up and running. The beach is beautiful. It's fantastic. But just want to know that I've had some people call me about the kayak docks on Oceanfront Park. And some people also, some families have asked me about Rotary Park as well. And I know as not the only Rotarian on this call, we're willing to do some stuff as well to help out with, some of the labor on that. But I'm just, do we have enough budgeted for this? And if so, let's hear from the experts.
That's actually a great question. If you'll notice on the top of page Q3, we have the $550,319. That's still for our Irma repairs to the various parks. One of them being Oceanfront Park. We still have not received approval from FEMA on that PW yet. It is stuck in environmental hazmat. So I think they're reviewing where that dock is going, like that repair is going to take place. So we've been very cautious to repair anything back there until we have that approval. Another thing to keep in mind is that we, at the next public hearing, we're going to have a discussion on the 5-year capital plan. And you'll see that, and I believe it's fiscal year 2022, we have the redo of Rotary Park. We have that planned, and fiscal year 21, we have some major repairs to the quay, which we're hoping to obtain some grant funding for. So I think at the next meeting, you'll be able to see more of a layout of the future projects that we have planned. Another thing to keep in mind is that this budget is just an estimate, so we can always bring a project forward to council, and you'll notice in the resolution, it'll say appropriating funds. Basically, you're taking funds, when you approve that resolution, you're taking funds out of our reserve for future appropriation and applying it to that project. And then we true up with a budget amendment later on if one is needed, because usually we come in under in other projects, so it balances out overall. However, if you feel like you want to make changes here tonight, that's something you can do. Just keep in mind that you can always change the budget. Once it's set, it's not like it's set in stone forever.
Well, I understand that. I mean, I've been part of a few budget amendments in my years on this August body. So I'm aware of that. I just want to make sure that, and I know there's other ways that we can, channel some other monies here and there through budget amendments. And so I'm just want to make sure we do have enough and we're not, tying anybody's hands with lack of funding in case something comes in higher than we thought and higher than the budget.
Mr. Bardis, and I know you've been around for a lot of them. This one's, the last couple of years have been incredibly tight. So we've tried to really base these numbers off of actual estimates, but there will be wiggle room, as other projects come under numbers as well. So the amphitheater is definitely a priority for us this fiscal year, and it will get done regardless of whether it's 17, 20 or even higher. We'll figure it out and make sure it happens.
Appreciate it. I knew that was the answer, but thanks anyway.
All righty. At this point, is there a motion?
They had a motion in a second, if I'm not mistaken.
I was going to say, I
That's
made a
right.
motion earlier.
Yeah.
Just got looped around. I guess call the roll.
Councilmember Zake,
Yes.
Councilmember Bardis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Mayor Cook,
Yes.
motion carries.
Do we have any citizens for citizen comments? In any form of phone, chat, Zoom,
Nothing on the YouTube chat. and
live?
Nobody connected to the Zoom that I can see.
All right. I do want to say one thing before council comments. I just wanted to apologize. I know he's not on this call at this time, but I did want to apologize to Mr. Steve Williams for not introducing him last Tuesday. With that, let's start with Mr. Bardis.
I'm going to
Council
keep
comment?
very brief. It's sort of a sad third anniversary of Irma, but the progress that we've made since is pretty amazing. And just go to Sombrero Beach if you want to see that. And I just really would like to commend all the staff for doing everything that they do every day as we continue our recovery from that. And special thanks to our finance director, Jennifer Johnson, for bringing in a pretty darned amazing budget, and for all the staff and the department heads for committing to keeping, costs down and doing what we need to do to keep the same millage rate we had since before Hurricane Irma. Great job. Wonderful stuff.
I'm going to break in and I want to ask Mr. Lindsay. I should have asked him again before because I missed him last Tuesday. He would like to chime in as well.
Since we're talking about budgets, I just had two things. One, I wanted to obviously publicly thank Jennifer. She does an outstanding job all year, every year. And, this budget's been a lot of work. I know we have another hearing to go, but again, thank you, Jennifer, for all your hard work. I did want to say something that as we, obviously have the anniversary of Irma. What I would like to celebrate actually is the arrival, a year or two later of Director Moskowitz and his staff at DEM. It wasn't really until things got moving. I'm very proud to announce at this budget meeting that we are well on our way to receiving all of our Cat A and B costs back from FEMA. Jennifer, I think, what are we, 2-3 million short for Cat A and B?
Yes.
So we received all the funding for FEMA reimbursement over the last, I'd say, year, with the exception of $2-3 million, and we will have that shortly. I'm pretty optimistic. We do have damage costs that are still out there, but as you know, we have to pay those projects up front to get reimbursed in the rears, and that will be a slow process for years to come. But as far as our actual cash out, we're sitting really, really well as today. So I wanted to thank the DEM office and all of their help, and Jennifer especially, for the long road that it has been in FEMA reimbursement.
Thank you, Mr. Lindsay. I'm sorry I passed by you.
No, thank you.
Doc Zig.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want
Yes,
to
sir.
reiterate some comments that have been made previously in that this is the third anniversary of the arrival of Irma. And as I look at some of the people's faces on the call and think back of what all the city staff has done in 3 years, how hard everyone has worked to try to restore some sense of a new normal to the city. And I want to say thank you to everyone in the staff led by Mr. Chuck Lindsay. I would also like to take a moment to thank Galen for his hard work and trying to keep us on the straight and narrow and guide us through these unusual times. He and Dirk have done a very, very nice job for us. In the same vein, however, I would like to welcome Steve Williams to the city and look forward to working with him from this point forward. And to all the rest of you, thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you. I also would like to echo Jennifer, thank you for the amazing job and for the staff and all the directors for really tightening their belt on this one. Thank you for all that you guys do on a day-to-day basis. I'd also like to remind everyone that tomorrow is the day that terrorists attacked the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and United Flight 93. It is the 19th anniversary. It's a terrible thing. Please do something kind for somebody. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'm going to break away again and see if Chief Johnson wants to say anything as the incident commander for Irma, for ransom hack, for COVID, for whatever else we have going on. You have anything to say, sir?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Yes, this is the 30th anniversary, as we all remember, loading in the buses and heading up to Ocean Reef and having a wonderful 2-day stay in the wonderful resort of Ocean Reef. Anyway, what I'd like to say too is mainly for tomorrow, the remembrance, unfortunately, due to circumstances out of our control, we can't have a big remembrance or a big proclamation or have everybody gather together. We are having that ceremony, like I mentioned, that's sent out to the council members, which are welcome. It's going to be a very closed ceremony. Just to remember, you look back, look at our firefighters now, and I would say probably I can count on one hand who was even in the fire service at that time, 19 years ago. With that said, we are moving forward. We did close one EOC with the hurricane last week. But I do want to stress to everybody to make sure your properties are prepared, your own family and friends are taken care of. If we do happen to have a storm, there are a couple new waves coming off Africa right now that we have been watching. The other two are heading north. Just be safe out there. And like the Vice Mayor said, try to do something good for somebody tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Let's see. So I've apologized to Mr. Williams and made up to Mr. Lindsay for not letting him speak last time. I would like to thank profusely Ms. Jen Johnson and Chuck Lindsay for all the hard work in making this budget happen. What a weird year. How do you even get a budget together? But you guys did it. You guys made it happen. You guys are awesome. You have a wonderful staff, and thank all of them. I know there's a lot of people in the background crunching numbers. I'd like to think, though, that, as some other people said, while we're remembering 3 years ago and remembering Irma, let's not forget that 60 years ago today, Hurricane Donna destroyed this place, absolutely took it apart. And there's going to be another one at some point. And I just want to say that we are not defined by the storm or the damage, but by our resilience after the storm. And I've never seen a place come together with such camaraderie and brotherhood, sisterhood, as we all did when we became Marathon Strong. So thank you so much to the citizens of Marathon for all of their hard work and their patience as we strive to put this place back together. And with that, that's all I have. Would any of the directors like to say anything? No? Anyone? Okay. With that, I call this meeting adjourned.
Have a good evening, everybody.
You too.
Peace out.
All right, Galen, I'm ending this.